ever been called an African booty scratcher because of your cultural identity? My name is Olubusayo Osinubi, and I am Nigerian. To answer my own question, yes, I have been called an African booty scratcher because of my identity as a Nigerian. I don't get called names like that now that the Nigerian culture has gained global attention all over the world. However, I have seen some changes in the culture. For my talk, I decided to examine the changes in the Nigerian culture and how cultural appropriation and appreciation is to blame for this change. Now, a little background on Nigeria. It is a country in Africa with over 300 tribes. Some of the major ones include Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa, which I will be focusing on today. All tribes have their own traditional attire that they wear. You would usually see them worn during traditional weddings or special events. Starting off with the Yoruba tribe, these are their traditional styles. Women wear an iro, which is a long piece of fabric wrapped around their waist like a skirt, and men wear a buba, which is an oversized shirt, under a tunic overall, which is called agbada, and they wear a shokoto, which is trousers. Women also wear a buba, which is an oversized shirt over their iro as well. And they wear a gele, which is a headscarf tied around their head, which is another piece of fabric that they take from their buba or like their iro as well. Men include a fula on their head, which is a hat over their head. Here are some newer traditional styles that women wear. The iro and buba for the women have been merged together into like a dress, and it's tied at the back. The men's styles has not really changed, except for the fact that the material is a little bit newer and the style is a little bit more modernized. Moving on to the Igbo traditional attire. Igbo women wear an atirie, which is a wrapper wrapped around their waist and is made out of George material. They wear a blouse as their top and a headscarf on their head like the Yorubas as well. Men also wear an atirie and an okobu hat, which is like a beanie. And here are some newer traditional styles that the Igbo women wear and also the men wear. Here's kind of like a breakdown of the Igbo traditional attire. They still wear an atirie made out of George material, but some women wear George material dresses, and then the men wear an isiagu, which is a chieftaincy, and they wear a cap on their head as well. And some men also use a stick to accessorize their outfit. Moving on to Hausa traditional attire. The men and women's outfits are quite similar. Both have colorful patterns on their tops, and women will wear a skirt and a crop top, while men will wear trousers and a shirt. So for the newer traditional styles for women, they wear abayas, and then men wear a babanuga, with a jalabia or a juani robe on top, and they pair with a fula. And as you can see, the Hausa traditional attire for men is quite similar to Yorubas as well. All tribes have what is called ashoebi, which means clothes of the family, and they wear it for the parties that they will go to. So the celebrants of the party would sell material for ashoebi for their friends or for their family. And so ashoebi materials come in as ankara or lace, like what I'm wearing right now. This is lace material. So moving on to Nigerian music. The Nigerian music has changed over the years from genres like Akwala music, Juju music, and Fuji music, which were quite popular back then. And now today we have Afrobeat. So I'll be showing you some examples of those. The first genre that I'll be showing you is Akala music, and the song is called Awakishe Olodiwa by Ayinla Omowura. So the next genre of music is called Juju music, and the song that I'll be showing you is called Sweet Banana by King Sunny Ade. So the next genre of music that I'll be showing you is called Fuji music, and the song that I'll be showing you is called Ijo Fuji by Dewale Ayuba. So the next genre of music, I'll be going to Afrobeat music. And so I'll be talking about Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti was an old Nigerian artist who was a pioneer of Afrobeat music. And he wrote a song which is called Suffering and Smiling. And so moving on to a little bit newer Afrobeat music, we have a song by Wizkid which is called Ojuelegba. And still in the Afrobeat genre, we have a song called Buga by Kiss Daniel and Tekno. So moving on to traditional dances. So Nigerians each tribe has traditional dances, which are some of the older dances that we have in Nigeria. And so I'll be giving you some examples of those traditional dances. And starting off, and the last one that I'll be showing you is the Hausa traditional dance. Okay, so now dances have evolved, and now youth of today have started making newer dances. So the name of each dance will pop up on the screen. So I'll show you some examples of the newer dances that we. And here is a little bit more of those dances. So moving on to food, we usually have some popular foods that are popular around the world that a lot of people know. So some typical foods that Nigerians have include eba and okra soup, jollof rice, pounded yam and egusi, amala with gbegiri, ewedu and stew, fried rice and pepper soup. Some that are not as popular include ifokore, which is like a water yam porridge, and then we have tuwo, which is a rice fufu. So some Nigerian snacks include puff puff, meat pie, chin chin, suya, and scotch egg. So moving on to language, Nigerian languages have not really changed. Nigerians speak mostly English, but they also speak Pidgin English as well as Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. So basically, the name of the tribe corresponds to the language that they speak. Now, I have showed you different aspects of the Nigerian culture and how they have changed. Now, but the question is, were these changes caused by cultural appropriation or appreciation of the culture? First, it is imperative to understand exactly what cultural appropriation and appreciation is. Cultural appropriation is the use of a culture in a disrespectful manner, or an unauthorized use of a culture that does not give credit back to that culture. Cultural appreciation, however, is when someone seeks to understand the culture and with permission practices that culture. So let me show you some ways that my culture has been appropriated and appreciated. In the first video that I'll be showing you, we have a school failing at an attempt to make jollof rice and puff puff. It is obvious that they did not learn how to make jollof rice the right way, showing an appropriation of Nigerian food. Another example of cultural appropriation of the Nigerian culture is we have a designer named Stella McCarthy, which is a famous designer who makes clothing. And she decided to use Ankara, which is a material that Nigerians use for their clothing, and she called it a joyful exploration of British style. There was nothing wrong with her designing clothes with Ankara, but she did not give credit back to the culture, making it cultural appropriation. Now, I'll be showing you some examples of culture appreciation of the Nigerian culture. And in this next video, we have a white man asking Nigerians to teach him their favorite dance move. He goes about learning about the culture the right way, and he does the dances correctly. Alright, so in this next video that I'll be showing you of appreciation of the Nigerian culture, we have a Nigerian husband explaining to his American wife what Yorubas, a tribe in Nigeria, call one of their foods. And she's learning about the culture in the right way directly from Nigerians, showing an appreciation of the culture. I hope you learned a thing or two about the Nigerian culture, how it has changed and how it has been appropriated or appreciated. But now the question is, has cultural appropriation or appreciation actually been the cause of the change in Nigerian culture? My answer to that question is yes. Many Nigerians share only certain parts of their culture or modernize it to help people understand and practice the culture in an easier way. As I was talking to my dad's oldest sister, who is like a grandma to me, she talked about ifakore and tuwo, which are foods that my mom was shocked to hear again because they're not as popular and they're kind of forgotten. These unpopular foods that Nigerians don't share because of how non-Nigerians have appreciated the food or appropriated the food, like jollof rice and pounded yam and egusi. To make it more appealing and incorporate foreigners' style into our own clothing has allowed people like Stella McCarthy to steal our cultural clothing. Our music has changed from having mostly drums, particularly the talking drum, and genres like akbala music, to being further integrated into American style of music. Now we have Afrobeat. In conclusion, I appeal to you to learn about someone's culture, but go about it in the right way, before hopping onto a trend of something you don't really know much about, like the fufu trend on TikTok, where we had people saying that you're supposed to slap the fufu before you eat it. By the way, we don't slap fufu before we eat it. Open your eyes and ears and learn from a reliable source. Most importantly, when you learn about the culture, don't steal it from those who own it.